My name is Kama, and this story is about my grandmother, Mrs. Bianca Jones. I called her Nana Jones, even though my mother, Mrs. Bailey, called her B. Jones. This name came from a company that produced wool and knitted clothes, owned by Nana and her late husband when they were younger. The company shut down when Nana lost her husband, Bat Jones, whom I called Pa Jones. Apart from my mother, Nana had two other children, Uncle Taylor and Auntie Bella. My mother was the oldest child of Nana, and she had her almost 10 years after marriage ceremony. Granny, who we lovingly called Nana, was 85 years old. She was always a sweet and gentle lady, full of love and wisdom. But everything changed when she lost her husband, my grandfather. He was the love of her life, and his passing left a huge void in her heart. Granny was never the same after that. I came to stay with her for a long holiday, hoping to keep her company and bring some joy back into her life. But what I found was a very different Nana. She started doing naughty and crazy things that no one expected from her. One morning, I woke up to find her standing in the kitchen, dancing and singing loudly to an old record. She was completely out of tune, but she didn't seem to care. When I asked her to calm down, she just laughed and danced even more. Another time, she decided to cook 2 packets of pasta. Not with a big pot, but with a small pot. The pasta cooked and started pouring onto the cooker, making a mess of the kitchen. When I asked her, she told me she was trying to make breakfast of pasta and eggs for me. Gosh! Granny also started hiding things around the house. She would hold the remote and look for it. She thought it was hilarious, but it drove me crazy trying to find things. Nana would always go to the window of the back door to communicate with Dr. Pat, her friend. Nana had a friend, Penina, who acted as crazy as she did. Penina would come with hot drinks, and Nana would bring cupcakes, and they would enjoy themselves as they chatted. Hot drinks and cupcakes. Oh Nana, this is not right. I asked Penina politely to leave the house, which she did, but Nana was not happy. While I locked the gate, Nana tried to climb the fence to get Penina back, but her 2 security dogs stopped her. Nana had a lot of pets in the house and took care of them as if they were her children. She pampered them, put them to sleep like humans, and always checked up on them. If any of her pets were sick, she would bring them beside her to make sure they were fine. Nana baked and fried eggs for her pets. She did not joke with them, in fact, she preferred to live with her pets alone. But because of her new strange lifestyle, her children refused to let her stay alone. She even convinced the neighbors' dogs to come into the house, claiming they were her new pets. I had to chase them out multiple times because they kept knocking over vases and scratching the furniture. Why, Nana? One day, I wrote a list for house shopping and forgot it at home. I decided to use my memory to buy the things listed. While I was shopping, my attention was drawn to 2 aged women struggling with a shopping basket in the mall. When I got closer, I saw it was Nana and her friend playing with the shopping trolley. Penina was sitting inside the trolley while Nana was pushing her around. I was dumbfounded as the staff noticed what was happening, but no one could stop them because Nana was well known in the town and they were entertained by her. I went home in shame. A whole CEO of B. Jones was now a subject of mockery. I couldn't take it anymore, so I reached out to my mother and she grounded Nana. Nana did not find this funny and decided not to talk to anybody or eat anything, just sitting with her pets and watching television. The next minute, she would be sleeping. Oh, I missed Nana since she stopped talking to me. It's been 2 days now and Nana had not eaten. I saw Nana lying on her bed. She wasn't just lying down but spread herself on the bed, singing an ancient love song her late husband sang for her. The scary part was that Nana also refused to feed her pets. All the pets were fasting with Nana. I decided to make her a cup of coffee every morning, but I noticed that she would ignore the coffee and rather sleep on the couch with her favorite pet, Juno. She did this for 3 days, and on the 4th day, we noticed that one of her pets was dead. Nana cried bitterly as she mourned her pet. She felt the spirit of her pet staring at her as she wept. I reached out to my mother, and by the evening, another pet was brought to Nana. It was the exact same kind of pet that died, and Nana smiled again. Nana stood in front of the mirror, checking her tummy and how flat it was from her fasting. One could see that she was not happy about it. She dashed into the kitchen, took a banana, a cup of coffee, and 3 burgers. By the time I came back, there was only 1 burger left on her plate with her banana and coffee, while she was changing television channels. "Oh, Nana, only you." A few minutes after Nana had her eating marathon, she went to the living room and fell asleep on the couch with a protruding belly and her mouth wide open because she couldn't breathe properly. Well, what can I say? It's so funny that each time Nana was upset, she would invite her neighbor, Dr. Pat. They would use all sorts of bright colors, red, blue, green, purple, and the rest, to turn themselves into clowns just to show me that she wasn't happy with me. Who does that? My Nana. But the most frustrating thing was her midnight escapades. Nana would sneak out of the house in the middle of the night. I would wake up to find her sitting on the porch with Juno, her favorite pet, staring at the stars and talking to herself. It scared me because I was worried she might wander off and get lost. Despite all this, there were moments when I saw glimpses of the old granny. When she talked about her husband, her eyes lit up with love and memories. She told me stories of their life together, how they met, and the adventures they had. She talked about how Pa Jones would take her out during summer to the beach, how he encouraged her to watch her weight, how they read newspapers together, how they had karaoke nights in their house, and how they slept off on the couch after dancing with their pet, Saja. Those moments were precious, and they reminded me of the wonderful woman she once was. I tried my best to take care of her and bring some normalcy back into her life. But it was hard. Granny's naughty and crazy antics were overwhelming. She was grieving in her own way, and I had to learn to be patient and understanding. One Sunday morning, as early as 5 a.m., I heard some noise in the living room that sounded like a glass clinking against a bottle. I went to the living room, but no one was there. I was about to go back to my room when I realized that the door leading to the underground stairs was ajar. I went to close it and saw Nana sitting pretty in her robe, holding a glass of wine with one of her pets, Jack, sitting beside her with his tongue out. Nana smiled at me. She wasn't surprised that I found her because I had warned her several times to stop drinking wine, as it was not good for her health and made her tipsy and act crazily. I left her to her fate. Uncle Taylor and his wife went to a convention, so they brought their only child, Lucy, who was 3 years old, to stay with Nana. The convention was going to last for 1 week, and Lucy was supposed to stay with us for 1 week, but guess what? The parents picked her up 2 days after they dropped her off. You might be wondering why. They brought her because they knew I would take care of her. Lucy was a lovely, cute girl, but Nana, as usual, spoiled the plan. Nana played with Lucy all night, and they were happy. The next day, Nana quickly entered the kitchen and toasted some bread for her little friend, Lucy. Lucy, who was sitting on the kitchen cabinet, grabbed a slice of toasted bread and started eating. I was sitting in my room when I heard some noise. When I looked through the window, I saw Nana climbing the wooden gate, and Penina was assisting her. What was happening? I screamed. Nana quietly stepped down but surprisingly entered her car with Penina and drove away. Nana had not driven in a while, but her car was still in good condition. I rushed to contact my mother about Nana's attitude, but I saw Lucy lying on the floor. I was confused at first. I reached out to Uncle Taylor. Before Uncle Taylor could come, the ambulance had taken Lucy to the hospital. Is she dead? No, she was not. Then what happened? Lucy was shocked by the burnt bread toast given to her by Nana. When Nana noticed that Lucy was uncomfortable, she ran to one of her friends, Monica. Monica is a nurse, but she was out of town as her children took her away since she was sick. Then, why was Nana climbing the wooden fence to enter Monica's house, even when the note on the gate said, "Do not enter"? When Nana realized that she caused Lucy's condition, she consulted Penina, and they decided to break into Monica's house and get her medical equipment to treat Lucy. Nana was never a medical practitioner, so why? Nana was as crazy as usual. After Lucy was revived, we started looking for Nana and her friend, but luckily, they drove back with another friend, Regina, who is a retired midwife. At this point, I was done with Nana. How could she bring a midwife for Lucy's case? Anyway, Lucy was fit now. Nana was happy with her friends while I left them. After some minutes, I heard chuckles of laughter in the backyard beside the garden. I looked through the window and saw these three old ladies doing a hula hoop dance, drinking wine, and celebrating Lucy's recovery. I called my mother to report Nana to her again, and my mother warned me sternly not to call her about anything concerning Nana as she was no longer able to concentrate on her work because of Nana's attitude. What could I do? I left Nana to do as she pleased. Nana's friends spent 1 week in the house. During this time, I pretended I was never in the house. Guess what? Nana was out of control. They did hula hoop dances every day, drank themselves into a stupor, laughed loudly and crazily, disturbing the neighborhood. They partied in the house wearing robes, jumping up and down on the bed, reading fashion magazines, and playing hide and seek. Nana cooked 2 packets of pasta in a small pot, which spilled over onto the cooker. They also played in the garden, carrying each other in a wheelbarrow. Nana invited more friends, and they danced with hula hoops. She even invited Dr. Pat. Dr. Pat would sometimes come through the back window just greet Nana. I forgot to mention that while Nana was drinking with her friends, she accidentally poured ground pepper into her drink. She kept drinking it because she was tipsy until her body felt like it was on fire. She ran to the storehouse, sat on the cooler box with her tongue out, while the fan blew on her. After some minutes, she went to the garden to calm down and made a cup of coffee for herself. In the evening, Nana's visitors were about to leave, but Nana refused. She brought out another glass of wine and sprinkled some sleeping pills in it. They drank and fell asleep, and even Nana's pet drank some too. As all this was going on, I kept my cool. But when I went to make a sandwich for myself, I bumped into Nana holding a cup of tea. Her facial expression was not encouraging. She avoided me. I went to the living room to talk to her, but she ignored me again. After a few hours, I went to her room to talk to her, but she just stared at me without saying a word. Maybe she thought I was going to shout at her. Dr. Pat woke up the next morning and left without saying a word to Nana. Does this mean Nana lost a friend? I am not sure because Dr. Pat has been Nana's best friend since her husband's demise. Other ladies were still in the house. I could not believe that I had not spoken to Nana for almost 1 week. Her birthday was in 2 days. I invited my younger sister to come and do Nana's makeup as we would be celebrating her birthday at home. But my sister Sharon spoiled Nana's day. Sharon turned her hair grey to celebrate Nana and put 194 years on the cake. Sharon did it to tease her, but Nana was not having it. She brought a fire extinguisher to blow the candle off and angrily went to her room, standing in front of the mirror, imagining herself as her younger, prettier self. Nana drove out of the house with her friends. When I stopped her to ask where she was going, she gave me that same ugly look without a word. I was angry at Sharon. Nana returned after 50 minutes, and I was happy that her friends were gone so that I could have some quiet time. We also noticed that she visited the salon because her hair was styled and her makeup done. We were surprised and happy at the same time, as Nana was looking good for her birthday. Nana was tidying up the house when Sharon went to ask her about her friends and compliment her looks, but angry Nana shouted at Sharon. I kept quiet, monitoring Nana and her new attitude. I saw her drinking a cup of coffee in the kitchen and feeling good about herself. She started dancing to her old radio, the one Pa Jones gave her on her 60th birthday. After 16 years, the radio was still in good condition, though the speakers sounded crackly at times. Anytime I saw Nana in this mood, I knew something was up. She went to the bathroom to shower, but I could hear her singing like someone with earphones on. Nana left the house again, but this time we decided to follow her without her knowing. Nana and Penina stopped by the roadside to take pictures, selfies and full pictures of their backs. The next thing, they arrived at Orange Beach. They continued taking pictures, but this time on another level. The old ladies were in bikinis. Nana was really having a good time as she sat inside a tub filled with grapes, drinking wine in excitement. I could have called my mother, but she warned me not to call her again about Nana's behavior. I went looking for Sharon, who seemed to be having fun with a black man she saw at Orange Beach. I was angry at first, but when I realized it was not the right time for that, I left Sharon and went to where Nana was with her friends. Surprisingly, I saw Nana lying down on a pool lounger with a young man. I didn't understand. Nana went to lie on a pool lounger beside a young man soaking up the sun. According to Penina, Nana said the young man reminded her of how she and Pa Jones used to sit by the pool years ago before he passed away. God have mercy on Nana. Penina informed Nana that I was there, but Nana still ignored me. I saw the young man Nana was talking to earlier speaking to one of the staff at Orange Beach. After a few minutes, Nana and her friends went on a boat cruise. I knew Nana would want to go on a boat cruise because she saw other families doing it. The young man must have paid for them. He seemed like a gentleman. I went home without Nana and Sharon. Both of them had decided to embarrass me, from looking for Nana to Sharon's flirtation with a stranger. I never knew my sister was interested in black men until now. I love black men anyway, but none of them have come my way. Sharon later came home and told me how Nana and her friends went to get tattoos. When they asked Nana what she wanted, she gave them images of her late husband and her late pet. The tattoo artist drew the sample on Nana's arm, but when the main tattoo needle touched her arm, Nana screamed so loudly that they were asked to leave. No wonder Nana came home very quietly and slept off in her armchair with her pet without saying a word to anybody. Nana wanted to be a Gen Z baddie. One summer afternoon, we heard a knock on the door. It was Nana's friend visiting with a bag of goodies, but this time not for Nana, but for Sharon. What's going on? Just a few days ago, it was Sharon with a young black man at the beach, and today it was Sharon with Nana's friend. The gentleman handed over the goodie bags to Sharon, who was dressed to kill, as if she knew he was coming. I refused to ask her anything, and she refused to say anything, but inside, I wondered how they met. Maybe it was after I left the beach. Nana and Sharon became friends after the young man's visit. Nana would smile with Sharon, but as soon as I joined, Nana's face would change. The good part was that I would be leaving Nana's house in a week, and Sharon could take over from where I stopped. I felt relieved that at least Nana could communicate with someone, even if it wasn't me. One early morning, I was in the kitchen when I heard Nana screaming. I relaxed because her friend was around and could take care of her, but the screams kept coming. I looked through the window, not wanting to show my face since she didn't like seeing me. I saw her struggling with the neighbor's cat. I didn't know why, and I didn't want to know this time. I noticed that Sharon was not in the house, but I wasn't in the right frame of mind to look for anyone. As I was about to leave the kitchen 30 minutes later, I smelled cigarette smoke. I didn't know Nana to be a smoker, so I wondered what happened. I realized that Sharon had bought cigarettes for Nana. When I got to where she was sitting, I saw Nana with a Jezebel look, red painted nails, red lipstick, big earrings, and makeup on, dressed in a red fluffy robe. Sharon was taking a picture of her, and when Nana saw me, she gave me the usual ugly look. I didn't say anything to either Nana or Sharon. 3 days before I was supposed to go back to school, I woke up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom and noticed someone sitting on the balcony. It was Nana with her favorite pet, watching the stars. I passed by without saying a word to her. I was praying for the day to come because I was fed up. I was packing my bag seriously and had informed Sharon that she could continue staying with Nana since my holiday was coming to an end. Sharon told Nana about this, but she didn't say anything. Since I came to stay with Nana, I hadn't seen her knitting, even though I knew she was good at it and they used to do it for a living. It seemed she decided to take a break since her husband's death. But surprisingly, I saw her knitting something that looked like a tablecloth with different colors. I was tempted to compliment her knitting, but I held myself back because I wasn't ready for the ugly stare. She was smiling with Sharon. Sharon had decided to dress Nana up like a young lady. Anyway, Nana's look that afternoon was cute, a fluffy sweater, jeans, and a pair of white sneakers. Wow! I noticed that Nana's friends stopped coming for a while, and Nana started behaving herself. What happened? Maybe because her enemy was leaving her house, or maybe because she had a new friend, Sharon. That night, I heard her praying in her room, and I was touched. Nana, who was a devoted Catholic, had changed after her husband died, but now it seemed she was back to the Nana I loved and enjoyed being with as a child. Let's see. In the morning, I went to her room and greeted her. She smiled at me and gave me 2 thumbs up. I was surprised. Something in me told me to stay longer with Nana since she had changed, but my holiday was over and I had to go. I asked her what she wanted to eat, and she said she would eat later in the day. I was admiring Nana's garden from the backyard window. I would miss her green lawn and the view. Then I noticed Nana sitting on the wooden chair, studying the Bible. I was happy that the old Nana was back because I didn't like the new Nana I had seen some months ago. Nana studied until nightfall. Sharon had been sleeping all day. The next day, I woke up early and got ready. I went to Nana's room to greet her, but she wasn't there. I saw her in the kitchen while I was about to leave. She was smiling with her cup of coffee and her pet looking at me. I told her that I was going. She prayed for me and handed me the colorful knitting she made the other day. I was forced to ask her why she was giving me attitude. She told me it was because I had disrespected her. She reminded me that she gave birth to my mother, and I was shouting at her like a child just because she was trying to heal from the wound of poor Jones's death. Sharon came, understood her, and became her friend. I bent my head, and tears dropped down. Nana told me that I didn't know what it's like to love someone and have death take them away. I felt bad for Nana and the way I treated her. I apologized to her. As I was leaving, she gave me a feather. I was thinking about what to do with the feather when she said to keep it and always remember her when I see it. I left after 1 hour, leaving Sharon and Nana. I was happy I reconciled with her. I went back to school and narrated the whole story to my friends, and they were laughing. School resumed as usual, and studies went on. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months. One day, I woke up to my mother's call. Why was my mother calling me now? She had abandoned me with Nana and was calling now. She hadn't even called to check up on her first daughter or ask about my return to school. I refused to pick up the call, but it kept coming. I was annoyed when I finally picked up the call. What happened? Nana had gone to be with the Lord. I couldn't cry. I was shocked. I was happy we had reconciled. I looked at the feather she gave me and smiled again. Nana's funeral was held 2 weeks later, and Sharon returned to my parents' house. In the end, I realized that even though Nana was different, she was still my beloved granny. I cherished the time we had together, despite the frustrations. I learned to laugh at her antics and appreciate the joy she found in them. It was her way of coping, and I love her for it. Shalom.